Hi, people. Welcome to this episode of Depth and Becoming. My name is Dr. Glory. Depth and Becoming is a weekly podcast that focuses on the Gen Zs or vulnerable people. And the aim is to create a safe space for them, to enlighten them, to transform them, and to heal, in their process of life. And we do this by bringing in experienced people to share their experience and them, guide the younger ones with their experience. And they also present themselves as mentors to this younger generation. So we will start today by introducing our guests. And our guest is Bravo! Annabelle. So, for those that don't know, this podcast is in China. I live in China. We all live in China. So, you're going to have a lot of guests from China. So, it's going to be an exciting episode because today we have a very interesting topic called friendship and respect. But first, I'll let Annabelle introduce herself. Hello, Annabelle.
Hi, Glory.
Nice to have you on this podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be invited to this podcast.
Oh, look at me blushing. Thank
I'm really
you.
very honored.
Thank you.
I've never been on a podcast, so this is, something new, a new
Pioneer.
experience for me.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I'm glad. Well, for us, it's just come talk about your experience, relax, and just have fun. Because of course we are targeting the younger people, so there's that vibe, right? So no pressure. Of course, I know you. You're too eloquent. You're too eloquent. So Annabelle, first, let's start by, can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Annabelle. I'm from Malawi.
Yeah.
And I came to China in 2017 as a student. So I joined the University of Science and Technology of China, also known as Jonkada. And I came to pursue my master's in public administration.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I graduated in 2020 during COVID.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh my gosh.
I remember the COVID experience.
A very, very tough time. Oh no. So I had planned to go back home, but borders were closed. Flights had gone from 4,000 to 25,000.
Oh my goodness.
And
look at that difference.
As a student, where am I going to get 25,000 yuan? So in May, 2 months before graduating, I got a job.
Okay.
And luckily, I also got a visa with some guy. And that's pretty much now how it is with me. I'm still working in the same place that I started. So that's
for me, I think I when I think of a guest to be on this podcast, I first look at your depth of experience, and I think that you have been through a lot in this China.
Yes, definitely.
You have been through a lot in this China because I know they graduated in the height of COVID. And at that time, it felt like the school was telling you to leave. Yes. And you're like, where am I leaving to?
Yes.
So,
let's just expand a little bit on that. I felt it was a very unfair experience. Borders are closed and the tickets are so high that most of us can't afford. But then every single day, the school would be calling and WeChat and email, when are you leaving? What's your plan? Where are you going? How are you going to? And you're already under pressure.
A lot of pressure.
All the external things.
Yes.
And then the school is also giving you pressure.
Yes.
It was very hard. And then finding accommodation was also another problem.
Because they asked you guys to leave the school accommodation.
Yes, they asked us to leave the school as soon as possible. Now, a lot of landlords had bad experiences when people were leaving, because when people left, they didn't know whether they would come back or not. So most people didn't come back, well, because borders were closed.
Yes.
Apartments had people's stuff, so
Yeah.
landlords had that experience of, oh, I've got their stuff, like, when are they coming back? What am I going to do with their stuff? Yeah. So when they got rid of their stuff or sent it to them or whatever, they were like, now we don't want foreigners.
we don't want people that will leave.
Yes, we don't want people that will leave, and So I had a very hard time finding a place to stay. Yes, because we would contact this agent, he would find an apartment, and he would say, no, we don't want foreigners because you people don't know how to respect us. You left your staff and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, that's them, but
but also else. In their defense, they didn't know.
They didn't know.
They just went on holiday, and that happened.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I went through probably 10 apartments before finally somebody accepted. Wow. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. Wow. It was very small. Like, you could literally take 10 steps and you're done with the apartment.
With the space.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
But what choice did I have? I didn't have a choice. The school was giving me pressure. And then I desperately needed to find somewhere to stay. So I just stayed. Yeah. Yeah.
That time, we were not going through that at that time. We were just dealing with the fear of the pandemic. Because we were literally in the heart of everything. So we see every number that goes up, everything that happens.
Yes.
Everything that happens, we can see, we can tell. So it's a lot that you guys were dealing with at that time. So moving forward, maybe this has created a good background for. I want to ask you, what's your Chinese experience like when you just came to China? How was that experience? Because for so many people, it's anyway. You just go ahead. You just go ahead.
Yes, I understand. A lot of people, we have different experiences. Well, I'll start from my perception of China before I came.
Okay.
So when I was back home, I didn't even do any research. Like, when I got the notification that, oh, you're successful, you'll be coming to China, I didn't even bother to go on Google and say, okay, the city I'm going to, what's it like? This and that. I didn't do anything. So I came here with my own perception of China, and my perception was what I saw in movies and what I heard.
I can imagine.
Yes. So I thought I'd see those, traditional Chinese buildings and people dressed in, Chinese attire and all that. And I was shocked when I came. It was definitely a shock to see just how much development there is.
Yes.
How so greatly advanced there is. And it also made me realize that the things that we are shown usually aren't the truth. Yeah. Until you experience it, until you're there, you really don't know. You really don't know. It's just the same as Africa, like the way we're portrayed on TV, like, oh, there's hunger, there's death, there's this, there's that. Yes, but not everywhere. It's not like that is who we are. We are hunger, we are death, we are, disease. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really a shock to me to find the difference between what I thought and what it is.
What it is, yeah.
Now, coming to China, like being in China, it was difficult. It was a difficult adjustment in the beginning because everything is in Chinese. I don't know the language. Somebody's speaking to me and I'm just looking at them like,
tell me about it.
Yeah. And then the first words that everybody will teach you is that just say Timbudong. Just say Timbudong. So that was my first the first
but you know
words
that Timbudong too is also a trap. Because the moment you say Timbudong, but they're like
yeah, you just spoke, yes, you just said ni hao.
Why are you saying you don't know?
Yeah.
Or you don't understand.
Yeah. So it was a challenging adjustment in the beginning. Also, the food kind of, yeah, the food was a little bit difficult to adjust to, but eventually,
You find your
yeah,
feet around it.
yeah,
There's this author called Chimamanda Adichie in my
I know
country.
her. Yeah, I know.
There's one of her book that she said, "The danger of a single story."
Yes, yeah, yeah,
You know, the story that is projected to all of us is exactly what you just said.
yeah,
They are in this huts, they live in
yeah.
this huts, they are always dancing or they are always fighting.
And wait, even the language. We always thought they say ching chong ching chong ching chong. So we even called them ching chong. Like a nickname for Chinese is ching chong.
Ching chong.
But when you listen to the language, you're like, where is the ching
Where's
and
the
the
ching?
chong?
Yeah, you're like, you guys calm down.
Yeah, calm down with the ching chong.
That is nothing. It's nothing like what it sounds like.
Yes,
Yeah, they have a few words that says chin something, but like when you say ching chong 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 chong, you're like, you're not making sense. You're not making any sense, right? So it's really good. I think abroad or coming out of your country, the biggest education you can get, it's not the degrees that you acquire, it's your broadened horizon.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, I cannot be this person that takes one single story and build my life or my existence around that story, because there are so many angles.
Very,
China
very
China is
very, very true.
is beyond what people think. So let's leave it at that.
Yes.
So moving forward, let's focus on today's topic. We're talking about friendship and respect. What would you say the foundation of a good relationship is, or a good friendship?
Yes.
What's a healthy relationship? What's the foundation?
Okay, so I'll start by talking about my very first experiences here in China. So when I arrived in Shanghai, because my flight landed in Shanghai.
Okay.
I needed to connect to Hefei, and I landed around 7 p.m.
Okay.
But then I think, was it 7 p.m. or 9 p.m.? One of the two. But then the train stations were closed. I think it was around 9 or 10. The train station was already like, it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And then I had no idea like what my other options were. So I was there trying to figure myself out, and I heard a girl speaking our language. So I was like, where is this person I hear? So then I spotted her. She was on a call. So I waited for her to finish. Then I was like, hi. She was like, hi. So I was like, so we started talking in our language. So she was like, oh, you're Malawi. I was like, yeah. So she was like, where are you going? So I said, I'm going to Hefei. So like, oh wow, I'm also going there.
Oh wow.
I was like,
what a coincidence.
Thank God. Thank God. Because I couldn't figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So that's how our friendship began.
Oh, wow.
So when I landed in Hefei, we were 3 Malawians.
Okay.
So the 2 of us landed, and then another guy met us at the airport. So he was like, okay, let me look for a hotel for you. Then we went around hotels. He found one. He was like, okay, sleep here. I'll come for you in the morning, and so on and so forth. So we were all in different schools. I was at Jonkada. He was at, is it Hagonda? And she was at medical.
Okay.
So we rarely met. Then, I had to integrate somehow. I needed to find friends somehow. And the very first friends I had were from Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we found common ground. We are very different in many different aspects, but then somehow we are also the same. So we found common ground in certain things like lived experiences, like religion, background, certain beliefs. So I think friendship it looks beyond your differences. It
Yeah.
looks beyond where you come from or what you've experienced. It's more about understanding people at their level,
Okay.
understanding yourself also from their perspective,
Okay.
humbling yourself. Like what I think is right for me isn't right for everyone else because their experiences are different from mine. But I just have to learn to respect and accept that that is their experience and this is mine. So if I want to maybe incorporate a little bit of what they have experienced, yeah, I can. So, for example, my Ghanaian friend used to like cooking okra. So the way she does it is very different from the way we do. Where I come from, we don't mix like chicken and fish and shrimp and what and vegetables in one dish. That was very foreign to me.
I
That was
know.
very. I was like, how in how?
How can you eat all this in
Yes,
one
in one
dish?
dish. That for me it was a very foreign thing.
West
Like
Africans
if
is not. It's very
yeah,
usual for us.
it was my first time. I was like, wow, we eat vegetables as vegetables, chicken as chicken, fufu as fufu. Yeah, that's it. You don't mix like no, especially fish with beef or
Oh,
no, no,
chicken,
no, 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 no,
yeah.
no. So it was just a matter of me going beyond my,
What you've
what I
known.
know, yes, and say, okay, let me try it. Let me try and see how this goes. And yeah,
I know. Now you're an
now you
advocate.
know I'm an advocate. Yeah, no, I'm an advocate. So yeah.
It's very interesting. Like the foundation of a relationship, I think, should key on respect.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, I took a course with some professor from the US. He was teaching cross cultural management.
Oh.
I feel like that course just spinned my entire psyche. It was during my master's. That course, just turned the way I saw things a lot.
Oh.
The guy was like, if a Japanese man comes here and you tell this Japanese man, oh, what are you talking about? Like, what's your culture? What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean that this is how people should behave? This is how people should behave. That man, because that is what he has known
Yes.
all his life,
yeah.
that he would defend that culture with his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he believes that that is the truth.
Yeah.
He
That is
has
the
known.
way to go.
And for you too, someone might come. I remember then I was eating chicken. We went out with some of my classmates, they were from, I think, Germany. We're eating chicken and the guy came. The guy was like, ew, you eat chicken bones? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was taken aback at
Yeah,
first.
like what are you talking about?
Like, what are you talking about?
For you, it's normal. That's how it
It's
goes.
normal.
Yeah.
But I got it immediately. I'm like, ew, you drink bone broth. I told him that you drink bone broth. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
I eat chicken bones. You drink bone broth because that's what you're trying to. It's the same nutrition we're getting, right? Yeah. So why are you trying to minimize mine because you feel like I'm African? Yeah. So that experience, was able to, I could see clearly what the teacher was saying. Like if he wants to defend his culture, I want to defend my culture. I'm like, no, mine is right. Yours is right. Mine is right. Yours is right. Like we will never gain a common ground. We will never agree, and that means there's no progress. That means we're not going beyond that extent of the relationship. But if we can come to understand, okay, you do these things differently, I do these things differently, maybe there's, like today I tell people that I don't even know if I cook Nigerian jollof or Ghanaian jollof. I just know I have learned to incorporate both. And I now I feel like, okay, this is the good thing about these people's
Yes.
method of cooking,
Yeah.
and this is the good thing about
About,
mine, and
yeah.
I incorporate that, and I get
Yeah.
a perfect
Yeah.
a perfect outcome.
Mm.
So in all of this, taking it back to relationship, to the foundation of a healthy relationship
Mm.
should be built on that respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Respect for each other. If
Mm.
you are from different culture,
Yeah.
respect for each other's culture, each other's belief,
Mm.
because we are, as human, we are just wired that way,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very
Like, you don't even have to agree with everything that
of course.
somebody else does. But then you just have to, be where you are. You don't have to agree with
Mm-hmm.
everything that they do,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also don't need to, like, be confrontational and
Mm-hmm.
disrespect somebody. Oh, what you do is really wrong. This is how it's supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really necessarily believe that there's something like supposed to be, like, this is how it's supposed to be done. From where I am standing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not yours supposed
Yours,
to be. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm,
That's very insightful.
yeah.
So next, how would you how do you recommend that people build lasting relationships?
Lasting relationships.
Yeah, like, because
Mm,
I have a few people that I've known for a couple of years. Maybe
mm,
um I still have like a few people that I know maybe when I was a child,
yeah.
but I feel like we are not that close.
Yeah.
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 And I know I still have a few friends that I also know as a teenager,
Yeah.
you know. I feel
Mm,
like we are also not that close.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the people that I've been close to are maybe people I know for the last say 15 years of
Mm,
my life.
mm,
Yeah, or that I'm still close to.
yeah. Yeah.
So it always, that this question always
Mhm.
is always in my mind, like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
do you build a lasting relationship?
Relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start by explaining something. I had a friend from primary school,
Mm,
and we were very close. She was Australian,
okay.
Patricia. We were very close. And as she went back to Australia and I stayed where I was, we kept in touch. Back then, there was no, social media, there
Mm,
were no phones and
mm.
everything. So we had to use letter writing.
Letters.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we used to write each other letters and so on until phones came
Mm-hmm.
and social media and whatnot. But then suddenly she just, wouldn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she cut contact for reasons I don't
You don't
know.
know.
Yeah. I really wished that we
Continued.
continued our friendship, but people evolve, people move on, people become different, everyone evolves.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key point about life. Like, what I was last year or even 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
is not who I am today,
Of course.
because the experiences that I've had also shape the way I think and shape the way I do things. Even my interests are not what they were before.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like going out, like, hanging out with
Hanging out,
friends,
friends.
yes,
Yeah.
being in people's houses and, having game nights and all that.
Mm.
But now I'm more comfortable in my own space, just being alone, doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
different person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even with friendships, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. The people that I thought I would move on in life with,
With.
most of them are not there. Like, we're not as close as we used to be.
Mm.
But then on the other hand, there are some people who I've known, like, for all my life. We were together in kindergarten, primary school, high school. We've known each other all our lives.
Mm.
And I consider some of them to be like almost like my sisters
Yeah.
now. Yes.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, we don't even talk like on a daily, not even monthly. We can talk like twice a year. But I know that if something happened to me or if I needed something, they would be there for me. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we don't talk like, but when we catch up, we have so much to talk about, so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And I know that if I needed them, they will be there for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So friendship is a very fluid, very nuanced,
Dynamic.
dynamic,
Yeah.
um, I don't know, compartment. It's
Yeah.
very, very dynamic. And there's no single, like, I can say that the people that are my close friends now will be my close friends in the next 5 years. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know
I
really
don't know.
because, like you said, people evolve.
Yeah.
People people grow.
Yeah.
Maybe not grow in the sense that they grow in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at the core of it, for me, I think lasting relationship is the fact that I know that I don't have to talk to you every day,
Yeah.
but I know that when I need you, you got me.
You got me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you want to be able to. You want to be able to build that relationship.
Yeah.
That you know that regardless what is happening today, I might not talk to you for months.
Yeah.
But when I talk to you, I will if I should ever need anything anytime,
Yeah.
that you are in the position to help me,
Yeah.
you will not hesitate.
Yeah.
Because we have shared that experience. And talking about keeping in touch with people, I think I have like 3 friends that I might not talk to maybe in a period of 6 months or maybe
Yeah.
3 months. But when we talk, we will talk for hours.
Yeah.
It will feel like we're making up for all
For
that.
last time.
So
Yeah.
so like I think at this time we have evolved to that point where we should also accept that, the fact that this person is not checking on me does not mean
Does
this
not
person
mean
does not care
exactly.
about me.
Exactly.
This person does care about me, and life is busy. We are all doing our stuff. But when we need each other, we will be there for each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very insightful. So in the midst of this, how do we resolve conflicts among our friends? Because sometimes, there could just be that awkwardness.
Yeah.
Like I'm mad about something,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, okay, I'm not. It's either I'm not ready to deal with this now.
Yes.
And because I also believe that it is very important to be able to vocalize, so that you don't like pile it up. But people have different temperaments. So what is the best approach? Because you don't want to lose your friend.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose your friend. You don't want to lose that relationship. But you're like, how do you go about yours if you need to resolve
Conflict
yes
management. Well, the thing as well is that I would say people have different levels of friendship. It's like an onion of some sort.
layers.
Let me just use the onion, metaphor.
Okay.
So like the core are the people who are the closest to me.
Yeah.
And then there's others who are
All the
not so
layers.
close. Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
acquaintances and, people I know, and then, like that. So it also depends on where you put somebody in relation to yourself. For people who are the closest to me, it's very easy for me to just say, hey, I didn't like what you said. I think you could have said it in this way, or you could have done it in that way. They won't. Well, maybe they'll also take a little bit of offense, but they'll understand that I'm coming from a place of love. But then if somebody is like maybe an acquaintance, it's a little bit. You have to you have to have a little bit of tact with that. Yeah, it really depends.
It depends on your
how you view somebody in relation to yourself. I had a workmate like 10 years ago. Is it 10? Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So she she was kind of a friend. We started work the same day,
Okay.
but different departments. And then she had this kind of attitude, like, not so respectful to a lot of people. And we used to work with farmers. So, when you work with farmers, you also have to meet them at their level.
Yeah.
Even your dressing changes.
Mm.
For us back home, we have to wear a wrap.
Okay.
You also wear a wrap in your
In your
head, and
head.
you have to be respectful. But she wasn't like that. So there was a scandal that happened, and I heard about it. Then I called her. I said, I heard this happened. So that's not
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a nice thing that you did. So she was, naturally everyone is defensive
Defensive.
usually when confronted with, so she was defensive and all. So I was like, this could actually lead to you getting fired because it's really not a good thing that you did. Oh, this and that and that and that. The next week, fired.
Oh no.
So now it's kind of like she was blaming me to some extent when I wasn't even involved in the whole thing. She didn't
Yeah.
take it well because
You had raised it.
yes, I presented it to her
Mm.
directly.
Mm.
So we lost that
That
friendship.
friendship.
Yes, right there. And and that taught me a lesson. I was like, I will never I'll never do this again. Because I didn't have ill intent.
Yeah.
My intentions weren't bad. I was just trying to let her see that, sometimes the way you behave affects other
Other
people in this
people in a
way.
different way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was it 2 days ago? I was checking one of my social media platforms since it was my birthday.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
she wished me a happy birthday. I screamed. And I was with another friend. She was like, "Why are you screaming?" I was like, "This girl, 10 years, it's been 10 years. She has not spoken a
Oh.
single word to me.
But some
Now,
people,
I
Jesus Christ. What is that serious?
said it was 10
What is
years.
that deep?
And now she's, wow. It's like, wow. Okay. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So, it depends on who your friends are, like who you consider people closer to you.
Yeah.
People who are just, workmates, people who are
Mm.
just, acquaintances, people who are just, I know that person, and, it depends how you
So
handle.
still based on this resolving conflict, since you came back, would you like kind of try
Initiate.
to, yeah,
No.
to,
For
right?
me,
You're
for
like,
me, no,
okay,
no, no.
okay, hi,
She can make
hi.
that step because I don't know where her mind is at. I don't know, like, I really don't know where her mind is at. So I also don't have anything to say. Like, you decided to cut off this friendship for a reason. You had a
Yeah,
reason. I don't
yeah.
know what it is. So I don't know what to say. So I'll just leave it at that. Whenever she's ready, with whatever sure, yeah. 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 It's
It makes
conflict is
it's
not easy.
it's really really tough. It's really
Mm.
really tough. And like you said, you know, I like that illustration of an onion, right?
Mm.
Friendship are in layers,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Those that you consider your very core,
Yeah.
you know, are probably maybe 5 to 10 people,
Yeah. 10 is
and
even too much.
10 is too much, right? 10 is too much,
It's
right?
too much. They're probably
You
like
know,
five.
for me, I feel like yeah, resolving a conflict with those people is very paramount. You need to,
Yeah.
it's kind of urgent. You have to address it
Yes.
because you don't
Yeah.
want to lose those core
Yeah.
people. But
Mm.
recently, I had an issue with one of the person I'll consider like among that
Yeah. Yeah.
core missing, but it was based on disrespect,
Oh.
and I felt like
Ah.
I'm not going to take this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. If you disrespect me like that, because
Yeah.
I will never, I
Yeah.
will never.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't get so familiar with people, whether near or far,
Yeah.
that I would disrespect you to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's where we draw the line.
Yes.
So what happened with this friend of mine is that we're both researchers, right? Put my name in your paper, I put my,
Okay. Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
kind of
know that thing. Yeah.
agreement, you know, and mine pulled through, your name is
Is
in my
on the
pay.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then yours happened, and you had stories. You're like, I've been trying to publish this paper things. I didn't want to put you in trouble because I sent it to several journals. I didn't want to put you, I don't want them to blacklist you, so I didn't put your name. But at the point where they accepted the paper, why didn't you put my name?
Exactly.
Because at that point, you did put your professor's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If we are like, okay, this has happened, because for me, I just told her that, oh, I'm really sad. That is the word I used.
Yeah.
I said, I'm really sad, and I said I'm unhappy. I expressed the way I felt to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, when you are gaslighting someone, like, with these years of friendship we have, how would you say that I would want to do that to you if I had a choice? I did it because I didn't have a choice. I'm like,
you had a choice.
You had a choice
because you added your professor at that point. You might as well have added me too.
Right? So for me, after all that back and forth, for me, what ticked me off was the fact she was gaslighting me, like, with these years of friendship we have, you don't trust me that I'll have your interest. Therefore, I'm not going to apologize.
Oh God.
No. I'm like, what did you say?
No.
What did you say? What did you say? You wouldn't apologize? What? For me, I'm like, okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you're not my mother, you're not my child, go. You understand? No. That's why I say, for me, disrespect, at that point of disrespect, I don't want to resolve it.
Yes.
I don't want to resolve it, because you are not just even good for my mental health. So so we should draw that line, but also make that effort to resolve when we can.
And you raise a good point about drawing the line. Like, you really need boundaries in friendships. I remember
that leads us to our next question. Understanding the boundaries. Let's just address that. Yes. Let's just address that now that you mentioned boundaries. Yes.
You really need boundaries. Like, I cannot take this beyond this point.
Yep.
For example, sometimes you find that you have a friend where you are the one who's putting the effort. Every time you're the one who reaches out. Hi, how are you doing? What's up? What's going on? They never bother to like reciprocate, So I think that's also another element of friendship, where if you feel somebody is not reciprocating, sometimes it's good to just be like, okay,
save your energy.
Let me save my energy.
Let me
just live in my energy, peace. Yes, let me be in my corner, because this cannot be a one-sided thing. But also having that level of understanding each other when things go wrong. Sitting down, talking about, how things are going, how, somebody has offended you and all that, being clear about what you felt concerning that particular offense. Sometimes it doesn't really work. Some people just don't understand. They're constantly defensive, like
always in their emotions.
Yes. So yes, you have to definitely draw the line. Like, no, if you go beyond this, we are done. We are done. I remember somebody telling me that, because I'm that person who, if you offend me, I will tell you that, you offended me in this way. And then if it doesn't get resolved, like it didn't with your friend, I will delete your contact. I will block you. Let me just say it, I will block you. I will block you. So I had blocked a certain friend, not just out of the blue. I never do it out of the blue. I will talk to you. I will tell you, you have done this. I didn't like it. What if they're so defensive and this and that and it doesn't, I will block you. So I blocked the guy. Then he went to my friend saying, after like over a month, I think he didn't realize that I'm blocked him. So now he has remembered me. He's texting, he's saying, "Oh,
It's saying that you
I'm
blocked
blocked."
him.
Okay, he goes around to my friend. He complains, "Oh, your friend blocked me. Why has he blocked me? This and that." I'm like, okay. Then my friend comes to me. Why are you being so childish? This is childish. Yeah, this is childish behavior. Why are you being so childish? You've blocked him. This and that and that. I'm like, wow. So blocking somebody is for me. It helps me mentally. Like
Yep.
it helps me to detach easier because there's also that attachment that you get from a friend because maybe they support you emotionally, like when you're down, they're your emotional support or mental support or some whatever kind of support they give you.
Offer,
yes. So to cut that out, it gets a lot of getting used to. Like, okay, now I'm without this person.
Takes a lot from you.
Yes, it takes a lot from you to just detach from a person. Sometimes you'll be like, let me text, then you're like, nah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes it so much easier when I if I just remove you from So you're like, it's childish. I don't see it as childish. Seriously.
I think whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever
works for you. Because this boundary thing, sometimes people don't understand. My boundaries is and won't be your boundary.
Yeah.
So like whatever works for you. There are people that can take. I think I can take a lot.
Yeah.
But
there are certain things now.
You won't even. The funny thing I feel about me, and I think it's the same thing with my mom. You won't even know when it's coming. You won't know because you are so used to me taking a lot.
Yeah.
You just feel like it's just another thing. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
And that was when, Baba, they go.
Bye-bye.
Just go.
Leave me. Let me have my peace of mind.
Let me just have my peace of mind,
Yes.
right? So it's very important we draw that boundary, especially when it's affecting your own space, your own health, your own self-worth.
Yes.
Yeah, because
very
I'm
important.
like, what are you talking about? Like, you have known me for so long and you can tell me that you won't say sorry. It means you don't even value the friendship we have.
Yeah.
You don't value this friendship.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let me be, so it's very important when people try to infringe on that right of yours. Whether they are your friends or although if they are your parents, you can't cut them off. If they are your children, you cannot cut them off. But if they are your friends, you're like, please rest. Even if it's my siblings, that you can't break up with your siblings. They're like, okay, you rest. After some time, when you realize what you did, you come back and you address it. Okay, with that, we come to the end of this episode. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you, Annabelle. It's been a wonderful episode. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, I'm glad you could make time.
It was a really interesting topic. I really loved it. Thank
you. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.